Hello everyone and welcome to Mr. Allen's World As Is. This is about my amazing trip to Pompeii, one of the most fascinating places in the world. Today we're going back almost 2,000 years to discover what life was like in a Roman city and what happened on the day it was destroyed by a volcano. This is Mount Vesuvius. In October 79 AD it suddenly erupted. Clouds of boiling gas and ash shot high into the sky. For 2 days, the city of Pompeii was buried under rocks, fire and ash, freezing the city in time. While this was happening, the Romans ruled much of the world, including Britain, so the same empire that built roads and towns here was also watching Pompeii vanish forever. Walking through Pompeii today feels like stepping straight into the past. Now, Pompeii was a bustling, busy city, and not everyone cooked at home. Pompeii was full of thermopylae, ancient fast food joints. These shops had stone counters with holes for big jars and food drink, ready to serve to busy Romans. Imagine a Roman grabbing a hot snack on the go, just like we might pop into a cafe or takeaway today. And here's something really amazing. Pompeii had the oldest surviving stone amphitheatre in the world. It could hold around 20,000 people, nearly the whole city, who came to watch gladiators fight, wild animal shows and other spectacles. It was their version of going to a football stadium or a cinema. The amphitheatre shows how important entertainment was into Roman life. And get this, it was this amphitheatre that enabled all the other amphitheatres in the world to be built. Without this amphitheatre, there would be no Colosseum in Rome. Ancient Romans love their graffiti. This one shows a fishing boat. These are actual Roman roads. They're still there. The Romans built stepping stones across the roads so people could cross without having to step into all the mud and filth and dirt. And the grooves between them, they were for horse-drawn carts, so they could carry goods up the roads to the different shops and businesses. And check out these bollards. Big blocks of stone kept carts in the right lanes and stopped people from cutting corners. The Romans were thinking about traffic safety even 2,000 years ago. But the Romans were even cleverer. They set shiny reflective stones into the streets, so at night the moonlight would bounce off them and light the way, almost like having street lamps made out of stone. Maybe this is where our idea of cat's eyes on the roads came from. Who knows? Many of these Roman houses had shops at the front and small rooms upstairs where the slaves lived. Slaves weren't paid and had to do the hardest jobs, cooking, cleaning and serving the family. Some might be freed one day, but most spent their whole lives working for others. Seeing these little cramped rooms really shows the difference between rich and poor in Roman society. Look, here we have a baker's. Can you see the oven at the back? There are a lot of things Romans could buy. Bread, cheeses, beans, sausages, olives, and even snails cooked in sauce. Ugh! Look at Mount Vesuvius in the distance. Before the eruption in 79 AD, it would have been a lot higher. Inside the houses, just like us, the Romans loved to decorate. They didn't have wallpaper, instead they made mosaics out of tiny coloured tiles showing animals, gods or even funny warnings like, "Beware of the dog." These mosaics are still on the floors today, almost as bright as when they were first made. Just like we decorate with posters and photos, Romans filled the homes with art. Pompeii was also famous for its gymnasium. People didn't have bathrooms at home, so everyone went to the public baths to wash and bathe and relax and chat with friends, maybe do a business deal or two. It was a bit like going to the swimming pool or gym today, but imagine having to go there for your daily wash as well. Now, this was really clever. Imagine that the gymnasium was on stilts with a big space underneath it. The Romans would build a fire in a furnace, and the hot air and smoke from the fire would travel through that space, warming up the floor and walls of the gymnasium and even heating the water. It was like having a giant central heating system. The hot air would rise through special pipes in the walls, making the whole room feel warm and toasty. That's how the Romans kept their baths and houses nice and warm on a cold day. The Romans called this system a hypocaust. Every neighbourhood in Pompeii had its own fountain, supplied by clever aqueducts that brought water into the city. These fountains weren't just for drinking, they marked the centre of each quarter, a bit like a meeting place where neighbours would gather. But be careful, don't soil the water, otherwise you might get a large fine if you're a rich person, or you would never be freed. You'd get a black mark if you were a slave. At the very heart of Pompeii was the Forum, the main square. This was where people met to trade goods, buy food, listen to speeches, or pray in the temples. Around the Forum were markets, law courts, and important buildings. Think of it like a mix of a shopping centre, town hall, and church, all in one place. One of the most moving and a little harrowing sights in Pompeii are the plaster casts. When Vesuvius erupted, people were trapped under the ash. Centuries later, archaeologists poured plaster into the spaces their bodies left behind. Today we can see the shapes of real Romans, men, women, and even children caught in their final moments. It's sad, but it does help us to understand what they went through and reminds us these were real people just like us. There are all sorts of jobs in Pompeii. Blacksmiths hammered metal into tools, traders sold oil, wine and cloth to the markets. Even children helped out. Some worked with their parents in shops or learned a trade as apprentices. Daily life was busy and full of hard work. Nearly everything we know about daily Roman life, what they ate, how they dressed, how they travelled, has been discovered here. Pompeii is like a time capsule, giving us real evidence instead of just stories. And because the Romans ruled across Europe, North Africa and even Britain, Pompeii helps us to understand how connected the ancient world really was. So what does Pompeii teach us? Well, cause and consequence, how a volcanic eruption a long time ago changed history forever. Daily life, from houses, slaves, jobs, fast food, fountains and mosaics to baths and the amphitheatre. Evidence, how archaeologists use plaster casts, buildings and artefacts to learn about the past. And connections, similarities between Roman times and life today. Visiting Pompeii felt like walking side by side with the Romans themselves. It's an amazing reminder of how powerful nature can be, how much we share with people from the past, and how history still speaks to us today. Thanks for joining me on this journey. I hope you enjoyed exploring Pompeii with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Bye.
Climbing the hills where the sky feels endless, on two wheels steady through the path so friendless. History whispers where the winds do roam. Geography sings as we make the world home. It's Mr. Allen's Adventures, come along, where every step's a journey, every trail's a song. From the mountain tops to the rivers near, we're learning, we're laughing, so glad you're here. Binoculars in hand, spotting treasures untold, stories of the past heard in echoes bold. Maps in the pocket, sun on my shoulders, the breeze in my hair. Finding wonders hidden, we explore with care. From the mossy stones to the tallest pine, every leaf and shadow has a tale divine. It's Mr. Allen's adventures come along, where every step's a journey, every trail's a song. From the mountain tops to the rivers near, we're learning, we're laughing, so glad you're here. So pack your sense of wonder and don't forget to smile until our next adventure in just a little while. Thanks for tagging along, you brighten the day. Now off we go again in our curious way. Climbing the hills where the sky feels endless, on two wheels steady through the path so friendless. History whispers where the winds do roam. Geography sings as we make the world home. It's Mr.